What is up, everyone? And first off, it's been a wild week. It really has been. I can't stress enough exactly how wild of a week it's been. Uh, I want to go ahead and just take this time to say I don't believe in value anymore. I just don't. I don't believe in the concept of value because, like, as long as I replace the words value with rich people's feelings, like, for example, if something is valued high, then that means that rich people like it. If something is valued low, that means rich people dislike it. That's the only way I can like see value now, and I don't care enough about rich people's feelings to validate them as some sort of decent measurement of stuff, because rich people also like oppressing people and cannibalism and stuff. So, whatever. Oh, speaking of rich people doing cannibalism, can we all just like embrace and just bask in the fact that like Alex Jones is still is kind of losing? You know what I mean? It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. I want that dude. Like, there's so many. There's only like so many people who I want to see fail in life, and Alex Jones is just one of those people. Like, I was around when like his conspiracy theories were actually like I think he predicted Y2K. I want to say he predicted Y2K. Somebody he predicted a conspiracy theory that because the internet wasn't a big thing yet, like he predicted a conspiracy theory that like publications and stuff was actually like making it into a bigger story than it actually was, and you find out, oh, it was just him. He just said the thing, and it was either Y2K or 2024 or something or other, something like that. But it was just like he said it, and people took it seriously and made it into a big story, and it became, and it's like, and because, like I said, because the internet wasn't a thing, it was like, oh, it was him who said it. It was his thing. That was him. It's just like, it's so stupid, man. Like, this dude was like this dude, somehow managed to influence an entire community by just simply being like loud and obnoxious. And people are like, well, he's loud, he's obnoxious, he talks like this over the microphone, and people just listen to that. So, and it's like the thing that really kind of makes me mad is that, like, actually what I always wanted to do, what I always wanted to do as an April Fool's prank was like start up a new world order type conspiracy theory myself, and then like basically have it be about a evil organization called Shocker, right? And Shocker would be like this evil organization that's trying to rule the world, and they're doing all these terrible things, and and the whole thing was that, like, I wanted people to like interview me about it and make a big deal about it, and then tell me, okay, you know who Shocker is? Who is Shocker? And I say, oh, Shocker's the bad guys from Kamen Rider. What y'all think it was? Dude, I was just making a joke. Like, I would love to prank, like, as an April Fool's prank, but like I stopped wanting to do April Fool's pranks when my cousin died on April 1st. So yeah, and also I don't matter enough to make this into a big enough conspiracy theory. So yeah, if my conspiracy theories can't get big, then his shouldn't get big either. So to heck with Alex Jones, and I'm glad he failed. I hope he fails even more. I hope Alex Jones is reduced to a guy who like stands in front of a gas station and screams at people. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of get his thing out there. I hope that he's reduced to that. You know what I'm saying? I hope that there's like a video camera of him just like, talking to people in front of gas stations, and talking to people in front of like supermarkets and parking lots and stuff like that. And I want there to be like, is this Alex Jones now? Because that kind of failure needs to happen. Because that kind of failure only happens to like most actors who kind of just sort of like fall off a little bit, but it rarely ever happens to like politicians or especially like right wing politicians. Because for some strange reason, man, like being in a right wing, bro, you are set for life. You could make as many mistakes as you want to, and you could just you could like not face any proper repercussions. You will never be a bum if you're a right winger. Apparently, it's like there's no. I've never seen a right wing politician or a right wing advocate or any guys like that actually fall off to a point where they're just bumming and slumming like the rest, like normal people do. It's depressing. It's depressing to know that that's the case, and it's kind of sad because it's like normal people can suffer every day, just for trying to do the right thing. But you got people who get rich doing the wrong thing all the time. And that's kind of the reason why I don't really believe in value. That's another reason why. Because we always sort of measure the difference between right and wrong, good and bad, evil. Evil and normal. And the fact is that we always say that bad is bad and bad should be punished. Bad shouldn't be evil shouldn't be rewarded. Cruelty shouldn't be rewarded. And yet you got some of the worst people, some of the absolute worst people, just up here. It's just upsetting to me. To put this in perspective, there's white supremacists out there with more than one home, and if I don't pay my bills in a month, I don't have a home anymore. I can't be like, oh wow, they're more valuable than me. No, that's stupid. I don't believe in value. That's dumb. Value is not a meaningful concept that we should take as seriously as we do. Because at the very end of the day, value is just somebody looking at something and going, I think it costs this much, so it should definitely cost this much. That should cost this much. Why should it cost this much? I mean, it's look. Because of the algorithm and the PVT scale and NRI and corporatism and the rule of good salesmanship. So it should cost this much. Dude, you just said a whole bunch of random letters and they didn't mean anything, and I think you're just going off feelings. No, I'm going off of actual stuff that I learned in business finance school. That should be expensive. Poor people should not be able to get that. Wait, what did you just say? I mean, it should be expensive because it's very valuable. I'm businessman. I don't take businessmen seriously, obviously. Well, it's like I always say this, the big reason why I don't take businessmen seriously is because if you get rid of money, I feel like they will be absolutely useless. There's record keeping and there's record keeping, there's journalizing, but those are writers at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But it's if money didn't exist and there was no way to measure the worth of anything, because I don't believe, because somebody brought up a while back how a potato is more valuable than gold, because you put a potato in the ground, you could feed an entire community, but if you put gold in the ground, all you bring it back is white supremacy. It's one kills society, one enriches society. Which one actually seems better in comparison? I mean, do we even use gold for anything? I'm talking about now. Do we, I know we use copper, I know we use tin, I know we use steel, I know we use lumber, I know we use plastic even. But we don't. I've yet to see anything made out of gold. I'm not not like jewelry or nothing. I'm talking about just stuff that's useful. I'm not saying that gold is useless, but it's just weird that gold motivated this entire, an entire extension of white supremacy to go into places where it shouldn't have been, and yet for all of the hard work it took to get the gold. I mean, I've never even heard of gold wires before. I've heard of copper wires. I've heard of plastic wires. I've heard of glass tubing. But I have yet to hear about gold anything. Maybe I'm just poor, though. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm poor and gold is the highest standards for rich people or whatever. But it's just weird that in a world where basic stuff is accessible to everybody regardless of class, gold is one of those things that's just still not, but also not necessary, that we don't really need gold. It's not I've never heard, yo man, this steel wire is not doing that well. We need to get the gold wire. Let's bring out the gold wire. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird. So it's value. We have a whole standard dedicated to something that we don't even use in basic life. It's wild. We should instead of the gold standard, we should have the salt standard, because at least we use salt. The food standard, because at least we eat food. Blood standard, which no, let's not do blood standard. Let's not do blood standard, okay? Because that's slavery ultimately. I think I've said multiple times before, but I also think that it's gonna sound disgusting, but I really do feel we should. If we're going to transition away, if we got to transition away from fossil fuels, obviously, but like we should transition towards stuff that is, like stuff that we know we're going to use, stuff that won't go away. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot. Like we have a whole supply of. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going with this. I really do think that we should replace fossil fuels with sewage and fecal matter and stuff like that, because it's something that we all have. We all eat food. We all cop a squat. It's like, imagine being paid to cop a squat. I'm just saying. I mean, it's disgusting, but also resourceful, because we never run out of it. We always got it. I mean, even babies cop even babies squeeze one out every now and again, but don't force babies to do it. But what I'm saying though is that like it just seems like But yeah, I don't believe in value. Like the idea of value, it just doesn't, like, at the end of the day, it's feelings. It's emotional. It's emotional. We found a way to try to turn our emotions into currency for no other reason than to just say, if I don't feel good about this thing, it's not worth anything. And the problem is that, like, who determines the worth of something depending on how something feels? Because, like, one person is going to feel some kind of way about something, now another person might not feel some kind of way about. So it's just like, it can't be, oh, I'm better than you, so my feelings overlay yours. It shouldn't be that. And because that is the case, the people who determine the value are some of the least valuable people in society. Like, business CEOs, what do, man? I will always say this. I can assure you anything that a business CEO cannot go to a business that cannot work a 9-to-5 shift at any of their stores. None. 0%. I am sure of it. And I'm talking about like a month. Business CEOs can't do that. Well, watch that show Undercover Boss, because they probably can. You know what? I actually should watch the show Undercover Boss. You're right. But what I'm saying is that, like, I just don't believe. Like, I will sooner believe that Barack Obama could probably do my job before I believe that Joe Biden or Donald Trump could. You know why? Because, I mean, first off, he's younger, but also because he has history of probably working at those jobs. You know what I mean? I can't see the guy who's in charge of, like, any of the people who's in charge of Walmart working at a Walmart. I cannot see that. Like, in my brain, I can't process that. Like, they would hate those. They would hate the job, man. They would despise that, man. Like, what? Oh my God. That's what I'm saying, though, bro. Like, but it's like, my whole thing is, if we're going to value work, like, if we're going to value the concept of work, we have to take into consideration that those people don't do work. Or rather, if they do work, or if they're capable of doing work, then why is it that every single corporation is, like, shorthanded, but you don't see them working at any? Like, if I was leader of my own, like, corporate franchise or something, if I just happened to have, like, my own franchise or be in charge of something every so often, I would just be randomly popping up. Not even to inspect the area or talk smack about, oh, this should be done better, fire this person. I wouldn't be that guy. I would just be going over there just to be like, hey guys, y'all need any help? I'm gonna come out and help you guys out today. What we doing? Today, you guys are my boss. You know what I mean? That's what kind of CEO I would be, though. You know what I mean? Because I don't like the idea of being in control of somebody. I don't really like being in charge of people. I don't like, the more I've worked jobs, the more I realize I don't mind being told what to do. I don't mind people moving up. I used to be really jealous about my brothers growing up, because my brothers were doing better than me at, like, a lot of things, and I would be jealous of them because I was taught to believe that because I'm the older brother, I'm supposed to be better than them. And these kids, they still think that I'm better than them. I am a failure. I need to stop saying that. I've made a lot more mistakes in my life than I'm pretty sure that they have, because they're doing pretty well for themselves. But my baby brother still randomly calls me up when he has a question that he doesn't understand, because he still thinks that I'm the smart one. My other brother, same thing. Kind of, but he is the smart one. So, you know, it's just wild to me because of the fact that, like, when you put values and standards and these concepts of somebody has to be the top dog, and the top dog has to be in control of everybody else, and everybody else is, like, less than because they're not at your level, because you are the better than they are. The moment that you put crap like that up, it's like, you're high value, so you're more important than everybody else, so everybody else can suck it. It's like, these things are not helpful. These things are not, for what? For what? For what? You know, like, but yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in value anymore. I don't understand the concept of it. I will say that there are some things I do put personal value on, but I stress the word personal because of the fact that there's some stuff out there that I know for a fact that I will hold dear to myself. But I'm not going to use the fact that I hold something dear to myself to sort of determine how I view, to determine how everybody else should live. I can only alter and view things from my own personal perspective. There's a lot of things I don't think are valuable. I don't value white supremacy. I don't value oppression. I don't value bigotry. I don't value people being harmed for reasons outside of being bigoted. There's a lot of things I don't value in a high regard. But for some reason, like I'm not about to tell anybody else, hey, you should do this because I do it. That's stupid. That's really, really, really stupid. Like, no. But like, all I can do is just say I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. That ain't my call, dog. But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. This is where we are though. This is kind of where we are as a society though. It's like I feel like the moment that we sort of dismantle the concept of what we consider to be value and just realize it's just vibes, it's just feelings, it's just people. At the end of the day, it's just people just saying, I don't like this thing, so you shouldn't either. And I'm like, I don't have to like this. I don't have to do the thing that you do. There's things that I like that you don't like, and there's things you don't like that I like. I just said the same sentence twice, I think. But the fact of the matter is that like it's nuanced. It's very specific. You know what I mean? You know how I know? You know the best way to challenge the concept of value? This is gonna sound like a really stupid idea, but you ready for this? Just bear with me here. Just bear with me. Tell me, you're gonna be like, this is a bad idea because I'm a capitalist and money is the most important thing in America and I'm gonna be rich one day. Now, before you say all that crap, just hear me out. You should be able to cut a grocery store in half and have one side be stuff sold for free and the other side be stuff sold for money. And push a narrative that states that the stuff that's sold for free has less value than the stuff that's sold for money. And kind of just do me a favor and tell me which side gets emptier first. Just bear with me. It's a social experiment, but just like the whole idea is that when I was growing up, people would be like, well, if you buy money using food stamps, then you're poor and the food that you buy is going to be less valuable. And yet, for some strange reason, food stamps are still a thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you buy stuff for affordable price, you're poor and you're a loser and nobody is going to take you seriously as an entrepreneur. And yet, entitlements exist. Entitlements exist and are utilized so much that racists are now just basically saying, well, actually, we got to take away entitlements because if we keep them around, then people are just going to get lazy. And it's like, yeah, because you guys got lazy. That's you. You guys are the ones that are lazy. Because like I know people who are on food stamps who still work a job. So I'm just saying though, it's like if we're gonna talk, like the whole idea is that like rather than, and also anybody else find it kind of weird that like rather than actually challenge the system that is making everything ridiculously expensive for people to use entitlements in the first place, instead they're just saying get rid of the thing that's actually helping the people sustain themselves in a society where everything is expensive. It's like rather than challenging stuff being expensive, they're challenging people for trying, they're making life miserable for people who need the thing that's to buy the thing that's too expensive. It's just like the thing needs to be expensive so it can make you work harder. It's like, dude, that's slavery. No. If my job can't pay me enough to get the stuff that I need and I have to seek assistance in order to get it, and you're telling me that I'm a bad person for seeking assistance while I am working, like, yo, no, that's slavery. You stop this. You stop this. Bad colonizers. Bad. But yeah, I don't value. I don't think that value is a meaningful concept. Like if somebody were to call me a less valuable person or a low value man or whatever, I don't care. I don't care. Like I have a job. I have a job. I haven't like irresponsibly put any kids on the planet. I don't have a drug habit. I haven't been to jail, at least not yet anyway, but I'm still black and I still live in a Republican state, so that can happen, like that can change. I still try to do my part to make my life better, and I still try my best to not hurt anybody in the process, unless of course I'm genuinely hurting the feelings of bigots, because hurting bigots feelings is super easy to do. All you have to do is just say, hey, there's a black woman over there, and they just be like, no. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, that's I'm ranting right now, but just bear with me. I don't value, like, because my whole thing is that the people, like, it's just feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we just like get into the habit of just saying I don't like this thing? I like this thing. I don't like this thing. Can we just say that? Can we just say that? I like this thing. I don't like this thing. Two simple sentences that could probably help change your entire perspective on everything. I don't like this thing. I like this thing. Let that be it. Trust me, it's freeing. It's mentally freeing. And let that be it though. Don't be like, I like this thing because the other thing is I like this thing because it's better than the other thing. No, none of that extra stuff. Just say, I like this thing. Let that be it. I don't like this thing. Let that be it. Wax on, and then wax off. This should have been a podcast episode. Okay, y'all be easy, love and peace, and spread love, spread happiness, spread caring. Remember, being kind is punk rock, man. Being mean is normal. Being mean is mainstream. Being kind is punk rock. Do yourself a favor and just be punk rock, man. Fight the system. The system is cruelty. The system is evil. The system is trying to make life miserable for people. Fight that. Be a warrior. Don't go with the flow, because the flow is leading you to a lava pit, man. Be cool, be nice, love people, treat people with respect. Treat people with respect, and if you don't do it expecting nothing in return. My life is miserable, and I've been trying to live life right for years. I think the one thing I will say though is that, like, even though my life is miserable and I've been trying to live life correctly for years, is that like the more miserable my life is, the more I don't want other people to go through it. I don't know. Maybe it's just a lesson. But that's it though, guys. I know long ending. Love and peace, happiness, and y'all be easy out there.